Good morning from Panhandle Outdoors, America's only daily outdoor TV show. Your source for fishing, hunting, and information for folks who enjoy the great outdoors. Now sit back, relax. It's Panhandle Outdoors.
Good morning, folks. Welcome to Panhandle Outdoors. I'm Winston Chester. Glad to hear this morning and glad to be back. I want to thank my Panhandle Outdoors team for taking care of things while we were on the road. We went up there and watched Ashley at her graduation, and I may have some pictures to show you later, but we had a wonderful time up there in Franklin, Tennessee. But we're glad to be back home. It's about a 9-hour drive, 8 to 9 hour drive, according to how long we eat. But we had a good time, and when Stan and Ken come on, just always count on them, just putting a quality show together. I appreciate that. And then Billy Grantham came on with Alex and Buckshot, and you got a great, down-to-earth shot at turkey hunting. It was just, those boys are passionate about what they do, and I enjoyed it. I hope you enjoy those shows as much as I do when I'm out of town. Don't enjoy them too much now. Don't have them stay out of town longer, but we're glad to be back, and it's a wonderful time of the year. Okay, so let's move on with our weather brought to us by Gulf Coast Air Conditioning. Drew Pollard, that business up there, like Billy said yesterday, basically it's a small town business with a big hearted work, and they do a great job. We appreciate them. High today 84 and low 67. Water temperature, I haven't looked at it in about a week, but guess what? It's the same as it was last week this time. It's 75.7. So at the end of the pier, it's about the same right there. The river reading brought to us by Mountain Dew. On the outdoors of Mountain Dew. Take a look at the Apalachicola. It's at Bluntstown at 8.2. It has dropped out and it's sort of leveled out. It's not quite to the point where it's getting right, like Billy mentioned yesterday, but it's a lot better falling out. And we're looking. Let's go and look at the Choctawhatchee that I mentioned. Choctawhatchee Caraville is 8.3. It's falling out, and now they both have lost a little bit of elevation, and they're dropping out. And we don't have any rain coming, it looks like, for the next 4 or 5 days. This weekend is going to be hot. It's going to be, I was watching the weatherman last night, and he said first time for a couple of days he's going to be picking, first time this year, he predicting 3 or 4 days of 90-degree weather starting this weekend. So be aware of that. So you want to be fishing in the shade this weekend. But the river fishing, I'm going to talk about it later on in the show, it's going to be really good. Take a look at our tide chart brought to us by And our river reading brought to you by Mountain Dew on the Outdoors. Our tide chart. Tide's looking good again. It's looking at low tide at 102 this morning and high at 2:30 this afternoon. Brought to us by Kent Forest Lawn. And the wind. Let's talk about the wind. East, southeast at 15. Again, that's strong. But it's going to sort of slack off a little bit going into the night. It's going to switch direction from east, southeast, and come in and out at the east. It's going to drop all the way down to 12. So it's going to be blowing tomorrow night too. So, tonight and also into tomorrow. So, all right, we'll take a break and we'll be right back. Okay, welcome back. I really was kidding about showing you a graduation picture, but they're right here on my roll, all my pictures, and I just can't help it. I guess it's a grandparent in me. I'm going to show you one graduation picture from this past Sunday afternoon up there. And here's Ashley. This is our middle grandchild. Ashley's number 3 out of 5, and she's graduating from Grace Christian Academy. And what a wonderful group, 64 in the graduating class, and she will be headed to Ole Miss this fall. So congratulations, sweet Ashley. What a great career she's had in high school, and what a great school. One day I'm going to sit down and tell you about Grace Christian Academy up there. These private schools can, they don't have to, if they want to talk about the Bible in class, they can. They want to talk about faith, they can. It's just refreshing to be around that kind of stuff. So let's move on to some outdoor stuff. Get away from the grandparent, but I'm so proud of Ashley, and maybe we'll see her pretty soon. Maybe she loves the flounder gig, so maybe we'll do that. All right, here we go. We're talking about some speaking of flounder, how about this? Jim Lloyd, who is, let's jump back on this. Jim Lloyd, well, he's our business director out at that Bay District Schools office, and been there a good while. Was native of South Georgia, been here a long time. Loves the outdoors. His wife, Brooke Lloyd, is a principal at Petronas. I worked with Brooke a long time at Mosley. And look at there. They caught a couple of redfish and a nice flounder. Look at old Jim. That's a good job. They took Tracy out to catch him. That's over there in St. Andrew Bay. All right, let's move on. Billy Archer. I just thought this was a cool picture. this fishing crew right here. We're talking about the amberjack being out. Folks, that is a nice catch. We'll be headed out with Billy in about 2 weeks for start of snapper season, but he'll post every now and then on some good catches, and that's just a cool picture there, Billy. Elizabeth Wingrove, all the way from Weewall, one of my former students. Elizabeth, she can catch fish with the biggest smile of anybody. And I love her comment. What a wonderful day to be outdoors. And we've had all kind of pictures with Elizabeth, and we're going to get her on the show. Okay. Allison Parker, is she excited about it? Dalton Parker's wife, Allison. She's actually a tutor doctor. She's in education with a business called Tutor Doctor, and they do a great job, she and her crew. But here she is excited about catching that fish. Y'all call Allison up. I know her brother will. Tell her she was on TV. Gail and I, before we went up there to Tennessee, we swung down by the Cape to check things out. This is at a state park now. So we're at the St. Joe State Park. We're looking toward the campground. So you can see the road going into the campground is well done, well finished, and was excited about it. It's very limited parking still back behind us, right behind the picture there is a boat ramp, very limited. And now the little, I read the sign, there behind the sign is important bird nesting. So you see these signs, but I think it's okay to be on the road. They just don't want you to get out in the, here it is I stepped across, I put my camera across, but you can see to the left, they've got all kind of sea oats planted. If you remember now, after Hurricane Michael, that was all washed in too. And to the right, all the area there. But look on the far right-hand side, going on, you see the bay, where the bay's coming in there, folks? That's going to be, this summer, that's going to be a hot spot for, it's shallow and got some deep holes in it. Now, during the day, you're not going to, it's going to be kids and all, it's going to be a great place to take kids and all, but that's going to be some good fishing at night, early in the morning and late in the afternoon. Some natural potholes have developed in there, and the grass is on the edge of them, so keep that in mind. Let me talk about this before I look at the next picture. I was a little surprised it has taken, and I haven't had a chance to talk to anyone, it's taken so long to repair the state park. I mean, this October is going to be 3 years, and I look at it, and I'm not being critical of anything, I'm just surprised. I mean, it's not like huge buildings, and it's not all kind of things we got to repair. I know, you got the campsites. I know you have to put the water system in there. Water system, very important. But you put a little block house up, about as big as this room here, for the showers and all. And then you run the electrical power. And to me, that's the two things you got to do. It seems like you could get that done within a 3-year period. I think what happened in Tallahassee, they just didn't put us up on the top of the list down here at St. Joe State Park. I'm really disappointed that folks not going to be able to camp in there this summer. They should be able to camp in there this summer and take care of things. It's not, it's just not, you know where I'm coming from. I'm just really surprised they have not done that. And if any of you state park people know the reason for that, please let me know so I can pass it on to our viewers. Okay? Let's take a break and we'll be right back. Welcome back. I want to say a special good morning to Adam Burns. Ran into your daughter and son-in-law down at Bayou Bash, and I wrote myself a note to say good morning to you, and I still have the note, so I don't forget them. Sometimes I lose my notes, but I don't forget them when I see them. So Adam Burns, glad you watch the show every morning. Let's get back on it. I want to finish up on this picture. We're running late this morning, got so much stuff going on, but I'm talking about a fine catch. You're talking about a fine catch, and these are local fellows here, okay? And that's Steve Norris in the seafoam green right there. So Steve Norris, and the yellow is Matthew Corton, and in the that's Captain Brad Timmons in the green, and David Rich, the guy holding two fish, Rich's IGA down there in Weewall. Folks, that's a fine catch. I'm gonna just go through and show you some of these. There's David right there. This is one fine catch of fish. Of course, they couldn't keep that big old snapper. These are 4 local guys out of Weewall, Appalachia, the St. Joe area, and they go out several times a year. And that's what you call a yellow edge grouper. And like David said, this is the finest, and I agree with him 100%. This is the finest fish, the finest eating fish you can catch. There's just something about that yellow edge grouper that is just really, that's really what they're targeting. And you can see they caught a bunch of them right there. Congratulations, fellas. I told them next trip I need to go over there and film a little bit because these just local guys that know what they're doing, and they're good at it. Okay, let's jump on this picture here. Go back to, this is Jennifer Barnett, one of my former students. She's just a sweet girl and a good fisher girl, and she won a Sunday afternoon, a good evening on the water. Good job, Jennifer. I'm proud of you, and glad to see you still fishing. Okay, now I got a couple other sort of announcements to make here. Let's jump on this right here. Ben Steele sent me this, and I want to share this with you. A little fundraiser. We're going to be sharing. This is a fish fry for Allie Moore. Okay, these are different things that are given away and all. And Allie, or that bottom paragraph, Allie passed away from COVID-19 41 days after giving birth to her son Marshall. She leaves behind a 7-year-old daughter, Harley, the father, and the love of her life, and her parents and siblings and friends and family. Stacy Steele, that number on the lower right corner, okay, right there. Call Stacy. Now this is the fun of fish fry, okay? Old Nate Pennington is going to be singing. Nate can sing. It's going to be here in Sheffield Park, 11 to 4 p.m., live music, okay? And here's what they're giving away though. You buy tickets, gun raffle, $10. Okay, that's a Smith. And folks, don't tell you on these raffle tickets, you have a good chance of winning because they don't sell hundreds of thousands, but the ones they sell, you got a good chance. So that's the Smith & Wesson, $10 each, 3 for $25. And then the other one, and it's benefiting the family of Allie Moore. And this is an offshore fishing trip for 4. And that would be a fun trip right there. Okay, and here's the, let's see, a 6-hour trip up to 14 fishermen, family tradition, okay, making members and all that, 6-hour trip, okay? So anyway, all these things are good. Okay, so anyway, get a hold of a Stacy, Ben's wife Stacy, or Ben, either one, or that number there, and buy some raffle tickets and come to the big fish fry. All right, now, let's jump from frying fish, let's jump to redfish. This is interesting because the Redfish Tournament is starting, the CCA Redfish Tournament is right here. And they're going to start at Memorial Day weekend. And I like what they post up here. They've already released 170 redfish tagged. Okay, so don't live with tag grit, so go on CCA website, what they call the star, click, you can click and register. I've already done mine. Well, I'm still carrying. I think I entered last year. We had a problem, but not a lot of people fished it last year. So anyway, in fact, they've already caught one here in West Bay. One's already been caught, so everybody knows there's one out there because they let it go. Now he might have moved, but he was there. Okay, got a nice little note here from Michelle. We put a picture of her catching that pompano. She said, "Thank you for getting us on. The kids got a kick out of that. We used to fill our mornings with watching the news, but so glad to have found your show. Much more relaxing and informative." Thank you for doing what you do, Michelle. And thank you, Michelle, for that comment. I hear that over and over again, how people just enjoy watching the show just because it's something wholesome. And we don't talk about bad things on here. It's all good things we talk about. Okay? All right. Well, I want to mention this. This is called a Garden and Gun magazine, and I just love magazines. I thought this would be good. I bought half of it for Gail for garden, half of it for me for gun. But I was looking at it last night when I got back home and all, and there was just some really cool stuff in here. And I wanted to mention. Let me show you. I started looking at it. The headlines was great summer road trips, and we all want to do that. We want to, this summer, to take some road trips. And a lot of us are always looking for something unique. A lot of times we go to familiar places, but those unique outdoor places are just a lot of fun, unique things. And I started looking at a magazine, and a couple of places, let's see. One, okay, I'm not going to share everything with you. See that boat right there? I was reading it, and that's a museum up there off the coast of North Carolina, celebrating their heritage of the duck hunting up there, the fishing, the old boats they built. And I thought, how cool. If I'm up in that area, I would love to go to it because that, we talk about doing that, is exactly what we talk about doing here that we haven't done, but they've already done it up there. They have a rich heritage. And, off that North Carolina coast, there was, at that point right there off Cape Hatteras and all, they had an amazing heritage of the fishing and the whaling and then also the duck hunting over the years and all. So they got all kinds of neat stuff. So I thought that was cool. So anyway, let's go and take our break, and I'll finish up on this. I got some more stuff. So we'll be right back. Welcome back. Let's take a look at our fishing game time today, brought to us by Blue Water Outriggers in Port St. Joe. We're looking at 6:05 to 8:05 this morning, and this evening from 6:30 to 8:30. A couple more announcements. Now, this is cool. A week from today is going to be that full moon in May, and I cannot overemphasize the importance of that in nature. But also, along this same vein of thought about getting outdoors, they'd have this full moon walk at the lighthouse, that lighthouse full moon climb, as they call it. It's going to be May 26th at St. George Island and at Carabel. Those two lighthouses. Now you're talking about something breathtaking. Climb all the way up there and then look at that full moon. Hopefully it's not going to be cloudy. Look at that full moon of May, what they call a flower moon. So that's something just unique to the Florida Panhandle, being able to do that. I don't think the lighthouse keepers and the clubs and organizations that keep those lighthouses going and open them up to us. So call and check on it. I don't know if you need to make an appointment and all, but I know I think you can do it as long as you can. I mean, they go up and down, but I don't know the time limit of staying up there. But anyway, they know all that. Also, the Redfish Tournament this weekend down here at the City Marina, and the waiting to be around 3 o'clock. And I may or may not be there. I've just got a full plate. We're going to see what we can do. All right, now, the other thing, I wanted, let me finish up on this book because I thought it was a cool thing. Two other little articles that you would like. See that big old cast net? Y'all see that? Let me get a commercial out of it. Okay. See that big old cast net the guy's throwing it? That's Mobile Bay, on the eastern shore of Mobile Bay. And I read that little story there. And I wrote down a comment. The guy is an old timer, and he's been doing his whole life, and right there in the eastern shore of Mobile Bay, catching mullet and frying them up. And his name is Duke Cox. And he just had, they asked him his opinions on how he was happy. He said, here's his quote: "The way to happiness is to avoid what makes you unhappy." Now, let that sink in. The way to happiness is to avoid what makes you unhappy. There's a lot of wisdom in that statement right there. That's coming out of Alabama, Mobile Bay. Okay, and then so that's a good story there. And then the other one, I know we've got some farmers and folks that love watermelon right here. There's a little story on watermelon. And I said, what are they doing a story on watermelon? I read it, and you would appreciate this. The watermelon seed, and I wrote down some notes for you. The watermelon seed, back in Virginia and all in early American history, how the seed was so important in planting all the crops and all, because America lived off the land at that point in time. And the watermelon seed, the guy in the 1800s, a guy named Bradford, he crossed two watermelon seeds, crossed them and planted, and it became known as the Bradford Watermelon. And it was the hottest watermelon well, maybe that's not a good play on word. The most popular watermelon all through the 1800s, and in 1920 it sort of fell in popularity because it couldn't be shipped very well. It wouldn't last as long. But back then people would just take them out of the field and eat them. So and the deer and all would, they took them out there for deer ate them. So then, but one of his descendants recently in 2019 has revived the seed, and they're having now the Bradford. I'm gonna try to find a Bradford watermelon seed. And I just think that would be cool. So I know a lot of y'all farm and all. And one more on farmers, because all the deer's eating up your corn and all. This is you, Benny Forehand, my buddy Benny Forehand. How about this right here talks about the Silver Queen corn. And that article right here says fatback fried Silver Queen. And the Silver Queen, that's the go-to corn here in the Florida Panhandle, and just a great tasting corn and all. So anyway, I just want to share that with you. All that at one little magazine, and it's enjoyable to read and share those things with you. Now let's get to fishing really quick. We've got this weekend coming up, and as Billy said yesterday, he quoted me saying, when the river's right, it's not quite going to be right. It's going to be lower, and it's dropping out, but the timing is right. We're right before the full moon. The full moon's going to be a week from today, a week from tonight. And if you can get out this weekend, it's going to be warm now, but you don't have to worry about the rain and all. It's just going to be some excellent time. I want to talk about freshwater. I wrote down some notes on just fishing in general this weekend. I was going to give you a midweek fishing report, but let's do saltwater really quick. They're catching kings. The bonitas out there. I've got some video. My son, they went this weekend while I was out of town, and they had some good luck and all. So I'll show you some of that video soon. And also, the king's doing good. The amberjack bite's been really good. The pompano bite is still going strong. Redfish has been good, and trout's been really good this past weekend and all. So anyway, let's jump on. I want to talk about freshwater. Right now, if you can go and plan to fish this weekend, go ahead and get, like we talked about, like Billy and them talked about yesterday, you really got to plan. So go ahead and plan your trip. And what I would look at if I had the whole weekend to fish, I'd be fishing these feeder creeks that are coming into the big river or coming into the Choctawhatchee River. These creeks now are sort of dropping down a little bit. You've had all this vegetation, all these worms and all that food is out there. The biggest thing, the water is clearing up. It's starting to clear up a little bit as the water drops down, and now they can start sort of seeing and smelling the bait. So freshwater fishing is going to be good. The lake fishing is going to be good, Lake Seminole, Lake Talquin, these sandhill ponds this weekend. I can promise you there are going to be some big bass caught in the sandhill ponds. The Choctawhatchee River, the feeder, all those feeder creeks coming in there are going to be excellent. Going down to Carabel, it's going to be the Carabel River. I guarantee we'll see some pictures of Carabel River up where those guys and girls go up the river and then sort of float down and just catch them along the area. So go ahead and plan for, if you can, to do some freshwater fishing this weekend. They're going to be on bed. Again, it's going to be before the full moon, and this is going to be an ideal weekend. The weather's going to cooperate. I just can't encourage you enough to get out there and do some freshwater fishing. Got to wrap it up. Thank y'all for watching the show today. You have a great day. Always do something good for someone else today. Enjoy the outdoors, and God bless.
Thanks for watching America's only daily outdoor TV show, Panhandle Outdoors with Winston Chester, featuring hunting, fishing, and other activities and information to help you enjoy the great outdoors. Join us next time for Panhandle Outdoors.